Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the
Backseat Critics.
I've got morons on my team.
Oh, really?
Yes. Look at them. All these poor, tragic people.
You fucking losers!
Welcome back to the Backseat Critics, everybody. My name's RJ.
My name's Andrew.
And today we have an episode of Dragon vs. Witch.
Yes.
Sorceress.
Yeah.
Wannabe. Evil.
Person.
She's probably the most evilest person in
The
this whole
most
series.
underwhelming final battle I have seen in a long time.
True. But
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
she did damage.
Yeah.
Damage. Like, she took down that... She had Oradon by the cojones.
Mm-hmm. That was the most progress I think any villain has had in any of these three movies.
Not granted, she had the advantage of her being outside of the barrier already, compared to all the other villains who had to fight to get outside the barrier.
And she had Chad, who really did nothing.
Yep. Nope. Did nothing. I mean, when has he ever done anything inside all these movies anyway?
He's kind of complained about not being king and wanting to be king. And
Did nothing.
yeah.
I think his only motive is to get with Audrey.
And do whatever she wants.
Well, I think he just wants a queen by his side, technically, because he's going to be the next in line.
Yeah, after
If
Ben.
something happens to Ben, so he
Yeah.
wants a queen. He's looking for a girl, and obviously he has a big crush on Audrey.
Yeah, he does. I think in the last movie, her car breaks down and she's like 6 hours away or something, and he's just drooling over the chance to go help her. 6 hours away. So yeah, he's thirsty.
Yeah, it's for Audrey.
Yeah.
Now, she goes full on bad in this movie. For everyone who doesn't know, she's upset because congratulations to King Ben and Mal. They are now engaged.
Congratulations. Yeah, and her was it her grandmother was kind of feeding her some spite, saying that this should be
Salty.
you, and how dare this outsider take your place in this kingdom.
And you messed up the family lineage.
Yeah. And so in this movie, they're the main four characters, Carlos, Jay, Mel, and Evie.
Evie. Yep.
So they get to choose one kid from the aisle to come and join them because they're starting to just bring kids. They're going to start bringing kids over, it sounds like.
What kind of selective thing is this, by the way?
They go over to the aisle. They have their little song and dance, get everyone worked up
Hold up.
to pick four kids.
Also, do we know? Okay, so the second movie, on the aisle, they absolutely hated him. They hated
Everyone hated them. Everyone was spiteful, like
But-
they betrayed them.
Now they have like little towns for each one of them. Did you catch that? Like there's like
No, I missed that.
there's like Evie's Alley or something like that. There's Carlos's Lost Home for Boys or something like that on there.
No, I missed that. I just thought that they went to like different locations. I didn't
No,
catch the names.
if you saw, there's like little signs and little posters of their faces everywhere.
Huh.
And there's
Way to go, like a just complete 180.
what's that? Yeah, the aisle did.
Because before they had like posters up around the aisle, but it was they were spiteful. They were kind of graffitied up.
But this time, no, they're not graffitied up. They're all clean, and they have like these little sections
Mm-hmm.
for named after them. I'm just like, what in the world? That's a complete 180. Like you said, 180.
Well, okay, so if you go up in the aisle, there's no magic. You're kind of living in the slums.
Poverty.
Yeah, you have a permanent cloud over your island. You don't really see the sun. I mean, wouldn't you kind of brown nose for a chance to get over to Oradon?
Sure, I would have, but this just turned like quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Also, on the same side of this, though,
Do they touch on how soon after this is from the second movie? Because the second movie is 6 months after the first.
I don't think they do, but
Okay.
really quick.
Okay.
Do we catch in the second movie where they sent on the one of the last scenes? They send Dizzy a letter saying, "Hey, you are more than welcome to come to Aradon."
And then they go over and give her a letter again.
Well, yeah. Then they go over again,
Uh-huh.
and then they made it so she has to be basically invited in this big selection process of Hunger Games style.
Yeah.
But in this time, instead of going to fight for your death, or I guess this was more closer to Willy Wonka's Ticket, I should say.
Yeah, that's actually a lot better of a choice. So, Dizzy is chosen. Smee has 2 twins, I guess.
Yes.
Both
Both chosen.
And it was
Dr. Facilier.
Yeah, from Princess and the Frog.
Yes.
The
Shadow Man.
Yes, he was. Well, his daughter was chosen, and so those are the 4. And they're taken back to Oridon.
Yes.
But what kind of messed up system is this? That they're just like, oh, we're going to allow only 4 people over, but we're going to get everyone worked up into this kind of town square situation, and just we're going to choose 4 of you, but there's 100 people there just waiting.
What's the worst part is too is that how are these people excited for the other people going over into into Oridon? How are these other kids excited about this?
Right. Like,
I would be pissed. I'd be like, yo, I didn't get chosen? Well, guess what? We're going to have a little fight now.
yeah, like you'd be so spiteful.
But no, they're all like, yay, congratulations, you're going to the aisle. I have to stay here in poverty. And we find out with cake later, like there's bugs in cake or something like that. Or
Bugs and turds were the quote.
Yeah, that's it. So I got to eat bug cake.
Yeah.
Or dirt cake or whatever it is.
So they pick up the 4 kids. They get in the limo and they're crossing. And Hades, who uses probably like 3 bottles of hairspray to get his hair straight up like that, punches through or sticks his fist through part of the gate as it's closing.
Yes.
And starts to come through. And people over in Oridon who are watching the limo come are somehow seeing this half a mile away.
Yes.
Behind a limo. How are they seeing a Hades, like this just normal sized dude punching through behind a limo?
There's a TV camera somewhere. They had a TV camera.
Was there a camera?
I don't think so, but there's got to be some sort of camera somewhere.
Because the people reacting were reacting in a field. I didn't see any sort of TV there.
No. Or I thought they were seeing it on a camera. I don't know. I thought they were seeing it on a TV.
Because if I'm remembering right, they were just watching it with their own 2 eyes. And then the grandma's like, oh well, this is why we can't have these people come over here.
I guess it's the
Way to go, Disney, on summarizing U.S. foreign policy.
Mandela effect. I'm just expecting them to have a TV there, I guess. I don't know, or a screen. I thought they were watching it on a screen somehow.
Yeah, you would figure.
Hades, though. There's a little blue stone that does damage.
His little gemstone the size of a fist.
What I love about Hades in this movie, though, is that all the other villains that you see throughout this series wants to get revenge somehow.
Yes.
Hades is different from all of them. He's not like, get me out of here, I'm going to go kill Hercules.
No.
Compared to everybody else. Or I want to go and take revenge on Hercules. He's more like, get me out of here. I don't want to be with everybody here. Like, this is not my place. I'm a god.
Yeah. Which kind of honestly fits in line with his character overall, in my opinion. Dude's king of the underworld, and outside of the Hercules movie, at least in Greek myths, like he's not a bad dude. He's just got a crappy job.
He got screwed over.
Yeah, he did. So yeah, he's got his Hades Ember, which is like this little blue stone.
Yep.
It gives him and his spoiler daughter Mel, because apparently the Maleficent and him did the dirty at some point,
Which is wild.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I think Hades, they must have been drinking when they got thrown into the barrier. They were drinking one night at Ursula's bar and just shooting the breeze. And I guess Maleficent, the fairy, was looking good to Hades, the god. And they decided to make Mal.
Yeah. Anyways, Hades is played by Cheyenne Jackson,
Who
from 30 Rock and Glee, it looks like. An American Horror Story.
he was giving us a pretty good vibe of Michael Keaton almost.
I was getting that too.
It was a
I
very
was getting
close Michael Keaton vibe,
I was getting that vibe too.
which I kind of digged. I didn't really dig his outfit.
No, it was leather overcoat or leather duster.
But he wasn't bad.
No. He's got his little underground lair with a recording going on of some dogs growling and barking.
Well, I think it was of Cerberus.
Yeah.
Maybe he had just a recording of Cerberus from back in the day or something.
So why aren't we showing that dog?
Because it's dead. I think they say that it's dead now. Cerberus is dead.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. I guess they're really just picking and choosing who's actually dead in this whole series. Because,
Yeah.
I mean...
They're probably looking at it saying, who do we have that we can actually CGI or whatever? What do we have that we can see? I mean, can you imagine having a CGI Cerberus after having a CGI Uma as an octopus? Or?
Yeah. By the way, Uma still out there in the wild, still roaming free, just swimming around.
I like how Mal has... She's looking out there with a spyglass, and Ben's like, oh, we got it. And there's like an army of people looking out there, spyglasses,
Yeah.
looking for Uma. This movie had a lot more sexualness to it. For instance, look at Mal's outfit. Down her booty, or her butt, she's got a zipper.
Oh. I missed
Down
that
the
part.
butt. And it stops kind of a little bit,
Okay.
but she's got a zipper for the butt. I was like, what the heck? There's a lot more swaying of hips.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot more of that in this.
The dances were a lot more sexual.
Mm-hmm. Audrey's rocking a somewhat flesh-toned
Outfit.
onesie
Yes.
with a coat over top. But yeah. And through half the movie, she's got like blue hair or something.
Well, there's a scene where they're fighting. Audrey sends these knights after her,
Yeah.
or after our crew.
Yeah. These is like Scooby-Doo possessed, knights in shining armor kind of thing.
And the crew consist of Uma, Gil, Harry, Carlos, Jay, Evie, and Mal. And yes, Henry, Gil, and Uma were able to escape the barrier.
Yes.
And that's why they're with
we're
them.
also bringing over, what's his face's daughter?
Well, that is correct, too. She's in that scene as well. Dr. Facilier's daughter, the Shadow Man. And they're fighting these knights, these suits of armor that were sent after them by Audrey. And the sexualness of that scene, I was like, wow.
Yeah, they're all over each other.
Well, just the swaying of the hips, I was like, Disney is allowing this for kids? Now, granted, I yes, not to put it out there, yes, I do watch movies and stuff like that. So this is not like a PG. We're not hitting on the fact that this is happening. Like, we're not disagreeing that we are not being prudes here.
Right.
We want to hit on that. We are not being prudes here.
I love movies with swinging hips.
But the fact that this is happening in a Disney movie, I did not expect this, is what I'm saying.
I'm thinking this is Kenny Ortega's 6th movie, at least, with Disney. They're probably kind of hands off with him right now and just letting him have his way. He's brought in a ton of money. Descendants 2 was the second highest grossing movie, second to
High School Musical
2.
High School Musical 2, okay.
For TV movies. So they're probably just letting him have at it, like whatever, hands off. And
oh my goodness. These outfits, though. A lot more leather in this movie.
yeah, there's so
I
much
mean,
more.
granted, there's been a lot of leather throughout this whole series.
Yeah.
Up to this point, but this point, there's a lot more leather. Leather's like his favorite thing. He's got a fetish.
Also, Audrey and Chad's relationship, massive dominatrix vibes from those.
Yes, she puts him in a closet.
She locks him in the closet, and he's okay with this.
Yes.
And he's just crawling around, and he's getting pet on the head by Audrey.
Granted,
Kenny, settle down.
For his sake, though, at least he didn't turn into stone or slept from Audrey's spell. Yes, that is the damage that Audrey does, by the way. She does, and it makes everybody fall asleep or turns them into stone, depending how powerful you are. I think it's crazy that Audrey, when she's turning bad, the dance and the song that she has. Do you not remember that, where she breaks into the museum?
Yes, I do remember that. She's grabbing a staff, who's like Maleficent's staff or something.
Maleficent staff.
Yeah. And then she's like turning herself evil. I mean, she's not turning herself evil, but she's
getting called to the staff. Or that's what they implied, is that the staff was calling her name, basically.
okay. I missed that then.
Kind of because she's like, this is. I forgot the line of the song, but basically this is calling me. I can't control it. I'm gonna go grab it. That's basically the basically, in a nutshell, what she said in the song.
Okay. Yeah, and with
And she
her,
never thought herself to be mean.
right? I mean, how dare she? And her grandma's like feeding her bad lines for like jealousy, like giving her reasons to be jealous of Mel and spiteful of people on the aisle and stuff like that. So it's I didn't get the sense that was just the staff that was calling her. I think it was just kind of like,
Well, that's what kind of fired her up because she was
Yeah.
at home. She's a little crybaby in her room, you know. And
oh no,
I'm gonna draw a picture of me being the queen. Like I think that's all her goal is just to be the queen. Forget
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah,
She don't care about Ben.
and she doesn't even care about Chad.
She don't care about no Chad. She don't care about no Ben. She didn't need that.
No, and she's got. Maybe I'm missing this, but did she have multicolored hair in this?
She does.
Okay, because I read a fact that because she's supposed to be Sleeping Beauty's daughter, granddaughter, whatever.
Daughter,
Thank
I
you.
believe.
They were supposed to be referencing the three fairies being indecisive about the three colors: the red, the blue, and yellow. Was it?
Green, I believe.
Green. Okay.
Green, I believe. Yeah.
Folks, I am colorblind, so I'm trying my best here. So I wasn't sure the accuracy of that because it looked kind of dirty blondish with streaks.
Yeah. I mean, they had colored streaks in it. Dirty blondish with colored streaks in it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about hair in this movie, besides Hades' hair.
And Hades' hair is wild in this.
No, I agree. And you are colorblind. I don't know if you caught this, but Mal's color did change colors multiple times throughout the movie.
I did not. I read that they put a little bit of blue in her hair to
At
reference
the end,
Hades.
it was a lot more blue.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Did not catch that
It
at
was
all.
blue with purple streaks in it at the end, I believe.
Yeah. No way I caught that. I thought it was pretty much the same throughout the whole movie.
No, but it did change a little bit throughout the movie.
So let's go back to that scene where Hades is trying to break through the gate. And Mel turns into a dragon to beat him. And he shoots a beam of blue energy at her
With the stone.
with the stone and saps her strength. So, forgive me if I'm forgetting, but like, Hades doesn't have a stone in Hercules at all, does he?
No.
So they're just making this up in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
What are the rules of the stone? Because here they're shooting beams with it. Later on, they're resurrecting people and reversing curses. So, like, is it just like a give all stone? Like, they don't actually set any sort of like rules for the stone.
I think it's just Hades and his power is in the stone.
But if he's a god, why would he need a stone?
It's a good question. This is why we are in Oradon, the land of Descendants.
3.
Descendants 3, where it is sexual,
So horny.
and we are in a place where it doesn't matter if you're bad or good. Like, the good people are turning bad.
So Audrey gets the staff, and she
Wrecks the birthday party. Let's just hit it on the head.
Okay, yeah.
She
I was-
wrecks that jerk. They look like they're having fun doing the water games.
And she was pissed that she wasn't invited or whatever, and she just puts everyone to sleep.
Well, you know what? Her family did not invite Maleficent to the party.
No, they did not. And you know what? Maybe don't put people to sleep. I like how Jane jumps into the river
Smart.
and stays under to wait for the smoke to pass, and the smoke is just what's putting everyone to sleep.
Dangerous move by Jane, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you imagine if she popped her head up?
And it was still smoky.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where my issue is, because the next camera shot is her looking at the little slope that she jumped off
And
of.
there's smoke.
And there's smoke. And it's kind of suggested that smoke's moving outward, so did she dunk her head back in? It didn't look like it, because she just got right back out of the
I
water.
wonder if the water, because we know that the water has magical powers.
Did it make her immune to it?
Yes, that's why she didn't fall asleep. But I wonder...
I mean, like, after the fact, when she's out of the water.
yeah, it made her immune to the smoke, I think.
Yeah, but if the smoke's moving out and she just jumped in and there's still smoke behind her when she comes back up, wouldn't she still have to go back in the water to
She
avoid
drank
that
it.
smoke?
She
That's what I do when I swim.
She drinks. I hope you're not swimming with kids. You might get some yellow drink in there.
Don't drink the yellow water.
Yellow chlorine mellow. But maybe she drinks them.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, that makes sense. in her system.
She squirts. She sprays. Ben.
Benjen.
So Ben turns into a version of the Beast with the worst makeup I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
And
Definitely a made-for-TV makeup.
yeah, she squirts this dude with some magic water from this lake or river or whatever.
Yes.
And he goes from horrible Beast Ben, which he looks like he belongs in the Cats movie, no?
Yeah, a little bit. He's
Like-
Rum Tug Tugger.
He just did not look good.
Rum Tug Tugger.
Yeah, no,
Descendants edition.
I'll throw up a picture on our Twitter feed. Of
Might as well just put it for the episode.
oh, that's perfect. Yeah,
Just put a picture for the episode.
yeah. So she squirts him, and and he turns back into a human, and he's got some pubes glued to his face.
Yes, that's what you want to call him. Yes.
And she's like, oh, well, he's still got a little bit of beast in him, so she squirts him again, and they don't go away. He's got the little fang-ish teeth.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It looks like they glued pubes to his face, and they're like playing it off like, oh, he looks so sexy with this beard.
Yes.
They're pubes. These are pubes glued to this dude's face, and you're like stroking, like Mel's like rubbing them, like, wow,
Well,
you
think
look so
of-
handsome with
How
this.
many people in Oregon have a beard?
That's a good question. Not many.
How many people we've seen had a beard across the...
We haven't seen
The
any.
aisle.
Dopey's kid. He grows a ponytail in this.
Yes.
Red
there's
flag.
not a lot of beards.
No, not a lot of beards. Everyone's clean shaven.
Dopey's kid. I know we are hopping around quite a bit here.
Yeah,
But Dopey's kid,
this dude's got some red flags going with that ponytail.
he is taller than probably Dopey.
Yeah, I mean, Dopey was a dwarf. This kid is.
So Dopey, I mean, if we're guessing that Dopey's sleeping around with some other person out there.
Yeah, who did he sleep with?
Sleep with somebody who's taller.
Okay, Snow White.
What's that?
Snow White.
Snow White, sure.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe.
There were 7 dwarfs. She slept over at their place. Let's not pretend like they didn't do any little hanky.
Okay, so we're going to go down the rabbit hole real quick, actually.
Oh, this is perfect.
Down the rabbit hole. So, we have Oregon, we have The Isle. And these
Okay.
3 movies that we are reviewing, right?
Yeah.
What are happening to the kids that they don't know? They maybe they've been orphaned.
Okay.
Maybe dad was a jerk.
Okay.
What if a villain and a good person teamed up? Like maybe the evil queen and let's just say Prince Charming had a little fling on the side real quick.
And their kid?
And their kid, and they didn't want to take advantage of it. And they just
Little
left it.
bastard child?
There's something going around there. Yes.
Okay.
What are happening to those kids in this whole series?
I guarantee you, they're all on Skull Island. With the attitude that people have on Oregon towards these quote-unquote outsiders, like anyone kind of related to a baddie, I guarantee you they're all on the Isle. As for like the orphans of like good people, like let's say Tarzan and Jane or Humpback of Notre Dame, wherever that
So
kid
the
is.
orphanage, they just put them on the Isle. Like we don't want this kid actually, so they're gonna go on the Isle.
I almost guarantee you they're doing that.
Because I was sitting there thinking too, and then think about like these kids like.
And there's orphanages on the Isle. They're like there's buildings with just kids. We don't
Who's to
see
say
that.
Maleficent doesn't have other kids?
Mm.
Who say that Hades doesn't have other kids running around?
I guarantee you Hades has other kids running around.
And we don't know.
Yeah.
The other thing too in all this, now, we have our main set of characters, right?
Of course.
Uma has some sort of powers where she can turn into a squid.
Yeah.
The only other person with legit powers is Mal. When we go back and look at it. Mal's the only one with powers
Yeah.
of all the kids.
They reference the fairy godmother or whatever has some ability, but she doesn't seem to use it outside of her wand. But
She needs her wand. Maleficent, obviously, in the first one had powers, but Mal's the only one that has powers. And she flexes them, or tries to flex them throughout the series. And she definitely flexes them in this movie.
yeah, she does. She turns into a dragon quite a bit for this movie, which makes it kind of entertaining seeing this.
And she turns into a hag.
Yes. So let's get to that. So Audrey is running around turning people into stone, and Mel goes to confront her, and Audrey uses her little scepter and
Doesn't Audrey just pop up? She doesn't go. Mal doesn't go to confront her. Audrey just kind of pops up, doesn't she?
you could be right. I
I think she pops up at Evie's house. Like they were talking about going to find Audrey, I think, and then Audrey pops up, confronts Mal, and Mal's like, "Well, what are you doing with my mom's staff?" And she goes, "Well, I never thought of myself as being mean. Check out my new latex leathery outfit that I got rocking."
skin tight.
And Mal's like, "Hold up, wait." And then she goes, "You drop that staff now." And then all of a sudden, shabam!
She just turns into an old witch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, old hag.
And
And she's like crouched over and just wrinkled. She looks like a pale raisin.
And she thinks the only way to reverse it is to go back to the Isle to get Hades' stone.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to the Isle, and now she's back. And she leaves the barrier, and you think the spell would come back.
Right.
I thought so, but...
It doesn't.
And they don't even reference the fact that she's back to normal now completely. So I guess if you go to the Isle, it erases any spell, except for the dog talking spell.
Right. Which, of course, we just completely ignored in the second movie. So my question is, if they took some of the stone statues of like the fairy godmother or beast over into the Isle and then brought them back, would the spell be reversed?
Maybe.
Because that seems to be like what they're suggesting, and like,
What if you took the staff over? Would it reverse all the magic that the staff has done?
I don't think so, because we're taking Hades' ember back and forth through this whole movie.
The other thing is they obviously have a cure on an Ordon of the lake with the squirt gun. Why aren't we just going around squirting people?
Yeah.
Easy as pie. Get a super soaker.
Yeah.
You know they have them in Ordon. Heck, Carlos can print one off with this 3D printer.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, they should have absolutely been doing that, but instead they're just like, oh no, everyone's a statue now, and there's nothing we can do about it except confront Audrey.
We saw Uma that she can make a tidal wave in the first movie or in the second movie. Why don't you just have Uma who escapes or has been out and about? Have her just go into the river, the little pond area, the secret magic water area, and just tidal
wave all of Ordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why don't they all just go around and spray the people who are statues,
Mhm.
but instead, for the sake of the plot, they're just pretending, oh, there's nothing we can do. Oh, but Ben turned into a beast, but we can squirt him and it reverses it.
Or fairy godmother's daughter Jane can jump into the water and that doesn't allow her to get it.
I just realized this better not be the only lake on Ordon, otherwise that poor dog can never swim.
Could still reverse it. No, I guess you can go in the ocean.
With Uma out there?
Now Uma does come back. In
She
this.
does come
turns,
back.
She turns good in this movie.
Right. But between movies, this dog's just stuck. He's
Swimming?
He's just
Yeah.
reverse Davy Jones. He can't go in the water.
No, he's doing his thing.
All right, fair enough.
He can go in the ocean.
I'm just trying to figure out the logic
I
of
think-
this movie here.
With Uma out there and this dog swimming, I think that dog is very safe still. I think why would Uma go after a dog?
Hostage. Carlos is clearly really attached to this dog.
Sure, but then Carlos would be like, nothing we can do.
That's true.
Sorry, dude. Dog's name is Dude.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm. Dog's name
I-
is Dude.
I heard him keep referring to the dog as Dude, but I didn't catch that was the dog's actual name.
Yes, the dog's name is Dude.
Oh boy.
Mhm.
Creative.
Yeah.
Audrey is hiding out in a cabin with her
Chad.
boyfriend, her little boy toy. And she's casting spells from there, and she's spying on the crew from looking into the scepter, I guess, and just watching them. Mel's group gets turned into stone at some point. Why she didn't just start with that instead of setting the knights on the group, I don't know.
Or the spell where they tried to trap him inside Evie's castle,
Yeah.
they said.
And apparently Mel...
Shout out to Evie real quick. The girl hustled and bought herself a castle.
Yes, she did.
Shout out to her.
She is set for life.
Mm-hmm.
And good on her for trying to unite the two groups, Uma's crew and Mel's group.
Mm-hmm. Their crews, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, the most of the group except for Mel gets turned into stone.
Yes.
Why not turn Mel into stone? What are you doing? Like, who cares if it's for a vendetta?
Classic bad guy. Classic bad guy move.
You're saying classic bad guy, but what I'm seeing here is just lousy script writing.
No, the classic bad guy move. Classic bad guy move. Let's take everything you love and destroy it.
Okay, so you turn her friends into stone, let her see that, and then turn her into stone.
I kind of wonder too, as well, though. There's the whole back conflict of the movie, in the sense that Mal is gonna shut down the barrier or keep the barrier up forever, and basically no one can come in and out of the barrier anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when the friends turn against her.
At the kind of climax of this movie, Audrey is on top of on top of the castle.
Hold up.
Oh, hold up
before we get to that climax part.
Dude, you're stopping me. What is this?
What is this? Is that she had to have Mal had to have the hype up song.
Where she's hyping herself up to
You know what? I fought my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I fought the octopus.
Mm-hmm.
I got dragon powers.
Also, just quickly, Mel gets like a little boost when she's fighting. When she like high fives Uma.
She pulled out some sort of shell that I don't think they referenced throughout any movie so far.
Yeah, and apparently it's got magical abilities. We don't really ever get into that in the second movie where she's the primary antagonist.
Maybe that's what turns her into the octopus. Who knows?
You would think they would reference that, but I guess we're just making stuff up on the fly here.
Yes, 100% yes.
Anyways, go on. So
We
you've
got
got the
that-
pump up song.
Get the pump up song, and that's what leads us into the fight.
Mm.
You gotta remember, she gotta get herself up and going. She gotta get the pump up.
We're going, girl. And we get Uma, who's like going back to the aisle because she's pissed that Mel lied to her.
Whoa, wait.
Hold up. We're stopping the podcast here.
Stopping again. One more time. One more time. We gotta remember.
Dang it, dude. I can't finish the thought here.
Well, here's the thing, though. Uma remembered her name. I've never heard what's her name. Like, she say, what's my name in this movie?
I think she said it once. I think she said it once when she first showed up after Hades and Mel fought.
Oh, she did.
She showed up and she was like, what's my name?
Mm-hmm.
What's my name, girl?
And I think all of a sudden, now she's hanging out with Mal. She remembers her name now.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Continue your thought now. I'm sorry.
Okay, dang it, dude. I completely forgot my train
We're talking
of thought.
about the climax, the fight now.
Okay.
We're going to the climax fighting scene.
So little sorceress Audrey is on top of the castle, and she's got was it Dizzy? I forgot.
Not Dizzy. It was Dr. Facilier's daughter.
Okay. Thank you. Because there was only a couple shots of her, so I didn't really pay attention. So she's shooting little energy beams up at Mel as a dragon, and Mel is kind of struggling, and then she gets a little high five or whatever from Uma to get superpowered, and she's got the little the Hades ember. And you've got a dragon versus sorceress, and this is what the movie decides to do, and this is what I cannot figure out. Why are we shooting beams out of this tiny little stone? Mel, as a dragon, is flying up there around the tower, holding a tiny little stone with like two of her little claws, just shooting beams out of that at little sorceress Audrey. Like, what an underwhelming way to have a sorceress versus dragon fight. There's no destruction. There's no fire like we've been having throughout the whole thing. We're just doing a dragon holding
shooting beams
Yeah, holding a tiny
You
minuscule
might as well have a
little.
laser in your hand.
Yeah, like why didn't Mel just stay in her human form and hold a rock? It's super lame to have a dragon just holding a small stone.
Maybe she wanted maybe the dragon powers were shooting through the stone.
Mm.
Give it the boost.
Little star power.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that maybe.
It's a possibility.
Doesn't make much sense though.
No, hell. Mm-mm.
I mean, if she's half Hades, and she used it before, I forget for what. In human form though.
Mal used it. Anyways, I don't know.
But I'm not crazy. She used it before,
I think so.
and she used it in human form,
Mm-hmm.
and she's only able to use like half of its power because she's not Hades, but she's half Hades. So what good does the dragon do if she's already used it in a human form?
Maybe it was so she can get an upper attack
Okay.
instead of. Because, I mean, if you shoot it from the bottom, maybe it's going to be more hitting the side of the building. Could
Okay.
cause more damage.
Turn into a dragon, get up on the top of the tower, turn back into human, and do it that way.
But now you're
because-
in close combat with the staff. This way she's a little bit further away.
We could have had a choreographed dance fight here.
Sure, but we have the girl in the way, too. Dr. Facilier's daughter in the way.
But you get my point that like this is a super underwhelming fight where it's a dragon holding a stone.
Yeah. Yeah.
This doesn't hold anything compared to the Dragon v Octopus that we had in Descendants 2, the best movie of this series.
This movie had a better story to it.
I think so too.
Better story, I mean, it kind of
The villain was a bit more interesting.
The villain was definitely a good choice because it was somebody who was good. It was kind of building up to its series almost.
Yeah.
So it was a good choice of villain.
The dynamic between Uma and Mel was a little bit stronger.
Yes, I like seeing the old or some of the like. We gotta see Dr. Facilier
That was super nice to see.
in his like.
I
place
love
he's
that
scanning
Carlos.
everybody.
I love that Carlos has got to like pay to use a little TV.
Yes,
It's
there's like a
just
little
small
coin
detail.
right there, and you
Yeah.
stuck it in. There's like a gear too. It wasn't even like a coin. It was like a little gear looking thing.
Okay, I didn't catch that. I just saw there was like a coin looking thing, but yeah.
Also, like too, the fact that the daughter of Dr. Facilier on the way to Oradon, playing the cards, those cards that can read your future
Oh yeah.
with Ben. She got Ben to pay for it.
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah. But just little tidbits here and there. But
Hmm.
I kind of like the fact that we got to see those villains.
It's nice when we get to see more villains.
And that's what makes Disney is those villains,
Mm-hmm.
especially these iconic villains.
Yeah, and again, it would have been nice to see like Ursula or Gaston if he survived, and like some of these other villains that we're referencing.
Yes, through their kids or from their kids. Which I don't know if you caught throughout this movie is that we've changed it to VKs now. So if kids from the Isle, we always talk about the Isle. They're from the Isle.
But they're VKs in
They're
this movie.
VKs now.
Okay.
Did you
okay.
catch that? They're VKs, villains, kids.
Yeah,
VKs.
I did catch that. Yeah, what was your thought on this movie?
Well, hold up. We need to talk about the last dance scene.
Oh, you're talking about Last Dance. Oh, yeah.
We need to talk about where they bring down the bridge. Mal decides that the barrier needs to come down.
Yeah, this was after Hades comes across and resurrects Audrey, who was killed.
And Hades brings up a good point during that time period. He's just like, hey, this is one of your own. If this was anybody else, they're being locked up. If this is a villain, they're being locked up. But because this is one of your own, you guys want them to be taken care of.
Again.
Good point. Hades was pretty wise in this movie.
Yeah, he was, and I appreciated that. Outside of his outfit,
He was a wise.
he was good.
He was a wise, half Beetlejuice, Michael Keaton looking guy.
Yeah, he was. So okay, yeah. So he resurrects her, goes back to the Isle. They decide, hey, we're gonna like open everything up and permanently put down the bridge.
And I like how that scene where she announces, hey, we're taking down the bridge,
Yeah.
is the same set, basically, that they used on the other side of the aisle when they're getting all the kids and everything.
Yes, I noticed that too. Yeah.
It is the same set, and even Uma climbs up it later. Those are the exact same sets.
Yeah, I was noticing that too. Except in this final one, I like that they actually remembered to put a microphone up to her mouth to explain like the speakers, like how they're hearing that. In the first bit where she's picking up the kids, there's the sound of like speakers hearing her, but there's no mic.
Also, like
Minor detail.
when they decide to take down the barrier and they start the final song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mal like does this nice slow walk, the
Little
sexiness walk.
swagger.
Yeah, and she got the mean face on, like, oh, I just broke down the barrier, and then starts singing, right? Like Uma can hear it almost across too, because they sing the same song almost.
Yeah, because
And then Uma just walks up normal and starts singing on her side of the aisle. I was just like, okay.
yeah. And they do a little dance in the middle of the bridge.
Yes.
Um,
Little line dancing type thing. Villains start to come over. It's a
the-
big
the-
old party.
The heroes start coming over and meeting them halfway.
Mm-hmm.
Ben has finally shaved the pubes off his face.
He's got a shaved head now. I like how the dad too at the end, before they break down the barrier, the Beast.
Oh, he was throwing a fit over the.
You can't break down the barrier.
No, that's
And
unacceptable.
Ben's like, Dad, this is my choice now. I am king.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You're a little sassy.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I mean, how did his dad not see this coming when in the first movie, Ben is like, hey, I would like to bring over kids and like start to bring in more kids. Like, how did he not see this as an end goal?
I don't know.
Seems awfully short-sighted.
And that we're choosing certain kids.
Yeah.
But yes, so overall, and then they have that great dance scene at the end. No booty cheeks in that one. But
Nope.
the main point I like to point out in this whole scene, this whole area, is how thirsty Harry is for a girl.
Oh, he's trying every girl available. Well, not available.
And then he finally ends up with Audrey.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird twist, but kind of fun.
I kind of expected him to get with like Uma or something like
And
that.
we also find out that our two homies, Gil and
Jay, they're going to go off on some adventure. I saw that there was some
Icebergs in Force.
I saw that there were some like spin-offs from Descendants. Do they go into that at all with the spin-offs? Do you know?
I think the spin-offs are more of the cartoons that you're referencing.
Oh.
I don't think there's any like spin-off of the like a physical show anymore. I think it's all cartoons from here on out.
Oh yeah, no, it actually looks like you're right.
So there's no more physical. And I think the cartoons, one of them is about Ben and Mal's wedding.
There's the royal wedding, and then
Yes.
there's something Wicked World.
With Mal and Evie. Yep. And now Mal's hair is more blue in this at the end.
Yes.
But overall thoughts, I did enjoy this one more than the second one. The first one is the better one. I think they were trying to push this one to try to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I think they could have done a better job making Audrey a bad guy.
I agree.
She was pretty bad, but she could have been better.
They did a better job than most Marvel movies did at setting up their villains.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I do agree with you. This was better than the second movie. It's just that climatic battle was just so underwhelming.
The drama and stuff were there. There were more inconsistencies from
We're just throwing all the rules out the window in this movie.
throughout the series. There was a lot of inconsistencies, and I think this is one that kind of ties all the inconsistencies, even to throw more in there.
Yeah, we definitely did. So I don't know. I think I'd give this another like 2 out of 5.
I give it more higher. Whatever we were gonna give the second one, whatever I said, 1 point higher than the second one.
So you're going in like a 3 out of 5 here.
Because it's better than the second one, so I can't give it the same rating.
Okay.
So it's got to be better than it.
I can maybe swing like a 2.5.
Sure. Yes. As long as it's better than the second one, I can't give it the same rating. It's just got to be better than the second one.
There was just some parts of this that were just so underwhelming and so blatantly inconsistent that it was just kind of stupid.
Yes.
But yeah, no, the first movie was a ton of fun, and I think overall the whole series is better than High School Musical.
Yes. If we're talking about Disney series, this is a good series.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. I mean, you have those aspects of the villains. You get to see high fives to everything. It's just a good, fun time. Good for kids.
Yeah, it's absolutely something you could throw on with no risk.
There's booty cheeks in the series.
It's for all ages, really.
Yes.
Um,
All for kids that grew up watching these villains, parents that watch these villains.
yeah, it was a super enjoyable movie. The first one.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still watch the whole series.
I think I would too. I
I'd let
didn't
my
mind.
kids watch this whole series.
Yeah.
No biggie.
And yeah, so that is it. That is Descendants 3. This, oh, by the way, last movie that Cameron Boyce was in. There was a little like goodbye message, I think, in the credits.
I always wonder if that was like the last, like, that's why they ended it. Went to the cartoon routes because Cameron Boyce is gone now.
So I was reading a little bit, and every movie kind of ends with a line of like, oh, so you think this is the end of the story? Kind of leaving it off for more. But this was the first movie that they actually don't say that. So I do think they planned on just ending it here.
Well, I wonder if Cameron Boyce, with him dying, that there's kind of like, can't do it.
That's true.
I wonder if they may have asked the crew, like, hey, can you do this? And he's like, sorry.
I could see that. Join us next time for zombies.
We out.
All right. Follow us at Backseat Critics on Twitter, or send us an email at backseatcritics@gmail.com.
Let us know what you want us to review.
Subscribe and follow.
We out.